So it was just me and him, and he's like, how's it going? I was like, you tell me.
The trade. Take me through everything you remember from the lengths to which the Clippers went about convincing you to re-sign, including the Staples Center where there was the visual depiction of your story.
It was crazy. We walked in, a lot of my teammates were there. Obviously good to see them, but I also felt bad. I was like, sorry guys, you didn't have to come to this. They had like different phases of my life, like my childhood, like big, giant, blown up pictures of like my childhood, like certain things from my childhood. I had this like green Huffy bike there and like basketball, a little tight goal, like you turn the corner and it's like high school and like my high school like state championship trophies and medals and pictures again. And then at University of Oklahoma and then early on in the league, you kind of like walk through like memory lane, I guess. And then you came out to the court and there was like a big couch like set up and I sat there with my kids and my family and it was a jersey retirement ceremony. And then Sandra Day sang Rise Up with like a choir.
A jersey retirement ceremony as you were retiring as a lifelong
Clipper.
Clipper.
As a lifelong Clipper, a fake jersey retirement. She sang that song, I was like, wow, that was nuts. And then we went in and like talked about, we got down to like the actual business of it. But yeah, it was nuts. It was like one of the craziest things I've seen, for sure.
At what point in that were you like pretty much sold?
Honestly, man, like that stuff, I'm appreciative of like how much thought went into it and how detailed they got and all that. But for me, it was about talking about like what's the future, what's going to happen, what are we going to do to like try to win and so that's when that happened. Like when we sat down and had like a real like business talk.
Probably had to make it hurt all the more when 6 months later you find out you're traded. How did it make you feel, kind of given that context?
I mean, I understand for sure. Through a business point of view, I completely understand. A team wants to go a certain way. They had a plan. They wanted to win a championship, very quickly, and they didn't think that was going to happen, with me there. And I totally get that. I just, the only thing is, we kind of wish it had gone about, they'd gone about it a different way.
How so?
Just like, sort of like, I guess the respect of having, letting your agent know so that like, hopefully both parties can work out a deal that they both want, it both works for them.
Because you found out from just kind of a friend.
Yeah, a friend had told me, and I called my agent to kind of tell him, hey, this is what I heard. He's like, oh, let me call. Nobody picked up. He called me back. He's like, that was weird. Normally he answers my call every time. And I was like, all right, that's weird. So I had to go in the facility that morning to like do a lift. And I had called the GM as well, or whatever his title is, and no response, nothing in return. Like an hour and a half later, and I was like, yeah, I'll go up there and just check. And never forget that conversation. I went up there and I was like, hey, to his assistant, it's a good dude. I was like, hey, is he in there? And he's like, I think he's in a meeting. And he looked a little shook when I walked up there. I'm like, tell him I want to talk to him. And so he goes in there and he comes out like a little bit later and he's like, hey, here, let's go in here. To this other office, and he goes to open the door and it's locked. So it's just me and him. He turns to his assistant, he's like, can you get the keys for this? And he's like, yeah, the assistant like scurries off. So it's just me and him, and he's like, how's it going? I was like, you tell me. And he's like, we're standing there, just an awkward, just a moment of awkwardness for I don't know, a good 20 seconds. He's like, all right, let's just go in my office. And I was like, I just want to know like what's going on. And he's, he starts with like a player of your caliber. And I was like, well, like, come on. I don't need all that. I just want to know, And he's like, you'll be the first call. And I was like, all right, appreciate it. And I was driving home, went to pick up my kids. I saw Woj's tweet that says the Clippers and Pistons are finalizing a deal send Blake Griffin. But also, my friend was giving me updates the whole time. He's like, hey, it's at the 1 yard line. And that was it. So that's what I mean. Like, I totally get it from their like standpoint and a business standpoint. Like, you want to move on from a guy, it's completely normal. It was just like everything about it that, you know, it's tough. But
Steve Ballmer and Doc Rivers both called you afterwards. You didn't answer. What's the likelihood that relationship can be repaired?
Yeah, I mean, probably can. Mostly the reason I didn't answer is like you know, the way, again, just how it happened. And then I was with my kids. My phone was just blowing up. We were like on the trampoline, we were playing this game, and I just like I wasn't picking up. And then after that, I was just kind of like, am I gonna call him back and, you know, talk about it? But no, I mean, I don't. It's not like this thing where I'm just like, no, I'll never speak to these people again.
Right.
It's just like, at the time, I don't think I was ready to do that. Whether that was right or wrong, I'm not saying I was right in thinking that, but that's just how I felt at the time. And again, it was with my kids, and that's a special time for me.